good? Thank you. Okay, we can start.
Hello everyone, today we are going to present on Samsung innovation strategy and implementations. So it is our content. So first introduction, corporate mission, community strategy, according to our task. The first I will explain about the Samsung's introduction. Samsung is a Korean company that was founded in 1938 as a trading company by Lee Byung-kyul. Over the years it gained success and diversified into many different areas. In 1960s, Samsung Group entered in the electronics industry and produced a lot of products. Its first product was a black and white television set. In year of 2000, Samsung opened a development center in Poland and started moving into digital television and smartphone industry. In 2012, Samsung became the world's largest mobile phone maker by overtaking Nokia, which was leading the market since 1998. Here is the mission and core competencies of the Samsung. Samsung to make the world healthy and leveraging wearable technology and ensure a better place to live for everyone. Their core competencies are strong R&D team and innovation centers, significant experience in mobile and wearable technology, impact brand name, because Samsung is very familiar with everyone knows that about the Samsung. They works on the customer first approach. Their team is very creative. They have a strong financial with availability to scale up quickly if they want to launch any product in the market. So worldwide presence, innovative culture throughout the company. Is their corporate strategy. Given that the mission of the company is to make the world healthy through wearable technology, the innovation centers will launch app-based wearable band, which will track the heart data for an individual. In order to go about the product, the innovation team will take the following path. First, they will collaborate with tech startups to find the cost-effective solutions. The second, they will search the new chip for brand connectivity through the mobile as the Apple Watch and Apple iPhones. They collaborate with the technology developers team to design the app with comprehensive features to track the health data. They collaborate with health, nutrition, cardiologists, and health association to collect their inputs so that an individual can receive guidance around their health conditions. There is furthermore is the internal and external factors that might affect the innovation. The internal factors are lack of healthcare expertise because they are not experts in the healthcare sector. Another one, limited developers with understanding of health device and health tracking mechanism. Their external factors, lack of customer interest, pricing war and competition because the Apple is also in their market for their competition. Here's furthermore, with the innovation strategy, Samsung will innovate the healthcare market through wearable technology by leveraging the incremental innovation approach. It will bring in the additional feature of tracking the heart data closely to identify the stroke symptoms to an early stage and guide to the person to take necessary steps to take cure early on. It will form a part of play not to lose strategy because there are competitors who have enough offering around health bands, so it will be hard for Samsung to capture the market. They already have a good market share for smartphones. Another one is the Samsung will design a targeted campaign to focus on existing customers, and it will be expand the campaign to tap the non-customers. So my friend Lenny will explain the furthermore.
Okay. So next, I'm just going to briefly talk about how Samsung communicate their innovation strategy to all the level, including manager and employees. It's quite interesting because Samsung, they originate from an Asian company, so their philosophy and strategy may be a little bit different from American companies such as Apple. But we found out that they got a really similar strategy. So basically, from top to down, Samsung CEO always stresses that open innovation environment is really important for everyone, including employees and managers. And they try to get the managers and all employees get into the habits of mind that always keep in mind that you have to keep thinking about new ideas and creativity and innovation. And to do the execution, they create a project, a long-term project called the New Concept Development Process. So the key thing of this concept is that they create a small incubation group called Product Innovation Team, and each of the teams are based in different locations throughout the world. They create the first innovation team from Silicon Valley and California, and these teams they are acting as a key coordinator for innovation in each business department, and each of the incubation is gonna communicate the innovation strategy to each employees and managers. And also Samsung, they really stresses on the open innovation model from Trustproof. Okay, next one, we're gonna compare how Samsung they apply the rules of innovation throughout their strategy. Obviously, as the number one rules of innovation, the CEO or the leadership plays a most important roles in innovation. So Samsung CEO, they have the dominant power to control every day all the company strategy in terms of innovation and business strategy. Even that culture is brought down to all employees with the same direction on business, direction and innovation. Even they established a new education institution called Changzhou to educate and to cascade all the innovation strategy down to employees. Even the Samsung Vice President, Kim Hyun-suk, he's always mentioned and focused that the Samsung, they have to get new ideas from the market, not trying to drive a market with internal ideas. And to do that, they do that through innovation partnership with IBM, Qualcomm, even Toyota and Volkswagen. So maybe if you read in the news that Samsung, they cooperate with Toyota and Volkswagen to do self-driving vehicles and all kind of smart technology in terms of cars, smart cars. Okay, so next one, we're gonna see how do they balance between creativity and commercialization. So they got this old method to balance between creativity and commercialization. Obviously, their innovation is long term. They focus on long-term innovation, but then in the short term, they still have to get their profits in short term so that they can keep the company running. One of the examples is that it's a famous example. That's why they developed their project to increase the speed of their semiconductor. They launching their Rambus DRAM and then flash memory just for quick cache, so that they can keep the product cycle faster and they can inject more cash into their long-term innovation. Also, they got some creativity tools. One of the notable ones is 7 Tools methods. They adapt from a Japanese company just to turn the ideas into quick innovations. And next one, Gavir, gonna talk a little bit about the structure of the company.
So this is the organization structure of Samsung. So the first 4 parts are included in the senior management, and the further is divided into 3 parts, and the 3 parts are further divided into different categories. So Samsung has a hierarchy structure, and the whole company is managed by a senior management. So the hierarchy structure discourages every individual to come up with new ideas and innovative ideas. It also discourages employees from every department to less communication with each other and to cope up with the organization. So this type of organization provides ineffectiveness of meeting their desirable results from its organizational environment. So suggestions to improve structure. As the whole organization is managed by the senior management, so they must encourage employees of all department of all levels of the company to communicate and discuss their opinion with each other regarding regarding the products and services. Or by doing these practices, they are not going to face any problem of the sustainability, and they can make their position in the worldwide marketplace. These are the innovation methods. Samsung used a lot of innovation methods, but I'm just going to cover the starter method and the incubators. So for the starter methods, Samsung has developed a C lab that is called Creative Labs. So in Creative Labs, all the employees from the department, they can came up with innovative and new ideas. They discuss those ideas and they implement those ideas to process their projects, their future projects. And for the incubators, as we all know, day by day, Samsung is trying to make the world digitalized, and the aim of the incubator is to capitalize the digitalization. The incubators are very helpful for the development of technical projects, because on this platform they can the team of the incubators method, they can discuss their technical issues, and if any member of the team came up with a prototype of their projects, so they can discuss their prototypes and regarding any issue of their projects to the experts or the senior level management. Or also, as being a part of the incubator platform, they can get the incentives from Samsung company. So here is the method for the maximizing innovation. To maximize innovation, they must follow the startup method, because by following the startup method, everyone came up with the new ideas without any hesitation, and they can discuss with those ideas. They also develop and implement creative ideas. So it's a great way to make innovations and the development of the company. So next part is going to explain Harris.
I'm going to introduce how we measure innovation and what incentives we choose for support innovation. First, we choose KPI, which is a key performance indicator and metrics for measure innovation. And why we need the measure innovation? Because only measurable innovation can be improved. And a company like Samsung, we take innovation as a long-term goal. So we need to measure it. We will from first aspect to choose KPI and metrics. They are objective and time and results. And the most important one is we need keep those KPI and metrics consistent with our innovation strategy. For example, we can set objective and result, but if we set only in 3 days, it definitely can't consist with our innovation strategy. So that's why we need those. And here is KPI and metrics. The first one is innovation channels, and we take the number of proposals made over a period of time, and this is input and this is output, which is implementation rate. The second one is we came from finance aspect. They include research and development budget and new project or patent revenue. The third aspect is customer. We need feedback and we need market shares. And the last one is organizational. And this is return on investment, which is the KPI in most company actually. And the last one is brand awareness. This is incentives for support the innovation strategy. And why incentives for it's important to support the innovation strategy? Because no matter how great innovation strategy, if we can get the people committed to lead to positive contribution on innovation, innovation can last long. So that's why we need incentives, and so we can reward and recognition for our incentives. The first one, the most important one is performance-based awards. Because direct incentives is most effective to incentive innovation strategy. In other hand, we can also take comprehensive healthcare and with give quality workplace and also we have incentive travel for our employee to incentives. And by the way, we also need good communication between leader and employee, because good communication which could lead to incentives. Next, Peter will introduce culture and do conclusion.
This part I will talk about the culture in Samsung. First, we should know the organizational culture influences the behavior of firms and their performance in many fields. Second, Samsung has a unique culture called the Samsung Spirit, and it's also very popular in the past few years. Many companies they know Samsung has a very strict and very unique culture. It's a little bit like materialized management or employee loyalty. This part I will talk about the problems in Samsung culture. There is five points that is not very friendly for the innovation implement. First is traditional top-down and bureaucratic decision-making process. It's also a very common decision-making process in many Chinese or Japanese or Korea, some Asian countries firms. Is very common one. Second is hierarchical corporate structure. It means you will have lots of layers to make a decision or to do something. You must follow structure. Third is junior staff lack opportunity. And fourth is Korean national culture. It's also the Asian culture. Maybe you can not. It's difficult to challenge your boss. It's difficult to challenge someone. They have more experience or they have long history in this company. So you need to listen to the somebody that have more experience. Here I list the three paths how to implement innovation-friendly culture in Samsung. First is driving innovation from the top. It means the top executive they should push the innovation to control, or you should to take the new ideas from the bottom of some staff to help them to express themselves. Second is do not fear failure, just moving faster and experimenting constantly. This means maybe some Asian companies, they are not the leader in some industry, especially in some new techniques. They only make some product more better, but they can difficult to innovate something very new, totally new. This is a problem in so many Asian companies. The last one is giving young employees or junior staff opportunities to express their ideas. Conclusion. Samsung doesn't have a talented engineer like Jobs. Also doesn't have a good resource advantage. South Korea is not a resource developed country. After Asian financial crisis, many once established companies such as South Korea's dollar and others have gone into decline. But Samsung has kept growing faster and steadily. This fully shows that Samsung has unique management framework which promotes innovations and push innovations come true at a faster speed. Samsung also has many problems, so we give some suggestion on how to make sure innovation more successfully implemented in Samsung. Last is reference. Thank you.
Okay. Any question? No questions? Okay. Thank you for your presentation. And I plan to give you some questions from first side, but I think come as your conclusion, which is contrast with what you say and destroy everything. So you're telling us something, and in your conclusion you come with something totally different. How come? Do you agree with it? Or you don't know?
Last week is so busy, so maybe.
Don't give excuse about busy, something like that. We need to justify how come you say. In the first slide, he said that Samsung has talented and good employees and something like that, and now you come doesn't have any of these. And for you said here the management is good and support the innovation. Where in the previous slide 2021 you said they have a problem there. So how come?
Well, I think in general, in our eyesight, we got the same strategy, but because for the presentation, we got a little bit of personal opinion into the slide. That's why you may see a big difference between different slides. But in general, I think we were in the same direction.
You are working in a team. It's something like you can say that because it's similar to you designing a Samsung mobile, okay, and then you put a Apple logo and you come and say we have different opinion. So this is not excuse, okay? So, okay. Another thing is your strategy. I mean the Samsung strategy. So. If you back to the second tier, the slide, I'm not sure. I mean, the strategy, the Samsung strategy. Yep.
Here.
No. Before. Strategy, yeah, strategy. Maybe before this innovation strategy, yes. Yep. That's all the follow. So this is from Samsung, right? It's not you with the strategy. There is no evidence. No support, this is from the outside, from where you get it? Who made this?
We made this. I read out with some websites of the article.
Some sites. Where is it? because the thing is, when you later talk about how to support and improve the strategy, okay, based on what? So if you go to slide number maybe 15, 16, go next. Sorry. Next one. Yep, this one, right here. So,
Yeah.
you make this one. So you build this based on what? From where you come with these things?
Or just compare the other innovation company, and mostly they took a lot to.
Samsung, they have a system, they have a strategy to support their innovation, or they don't have?
They also have a system.
I
Incentive
need some
system.
example from their program and more details about these things. Okay?
Okay, they do have the best employee of the year. I didn't put it on PPT.
Okay, you need to add that in your report. And support that with some literature or references, okay? If you go to slide number 20. Yes. So the hierarchy, corporate structure, and traditional top-down. How are these two different? How you can explain they are different?
They are the similar, the same meaning from top to down.
Yes. So why put 2 points?
I don't know. Maybe I think it's more detailed, so I can say nothing.
Okay, any question? Thank you.